them dance every night of the week. I think they're marvelous.
They are, aren't they? But of course, just walking inside any theater gives me a thrill.
Well, it's been so lovely, Tony. I hate to have it over.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like a cold drink?
Wonderful.
I'll see what's in the icebox. Would you like to come along?
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Just the kitchen's enough.
Why, I like it. You've done it very simply, haven't you?
Yes, we didn't know whether to do it Empire or Neo-Grecian.
So you settled for Frigidaire?
Oh yes, it's so easy to live with. Lucky you're not hungry, Mr. K. An icebox full of cornflakes. That gives you a rough idea of the sycamores.
Of course. Why they make these bottle openers for singer midgets, I never did.
Oh!
All over my coat.
Oh, I'll take mine in a glass if you don't mind.
There you are, a foaming beaker.
Anyhow, it's cold.
Now, if you'll please be seated, I'd like to offer a toast.
We are seated.
Miss Sycamore, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, to you. You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade one moment of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Terrific. Didn't you read The Good Earth?
Well, I suppose I ought to go.
Is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right, then I won't. When do you get your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I might take mine then, too.
Really?
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I haven't thought much about it.
Going away, do you think?
I might not. I like the city in the summertime.
Oh, I do, too.
But you always go up to Maine, don't you?
That's right. Oh, but I'm sure I would love the city in the summertime if... Oh, you know what I mean, Alice. I'd love it if you were there.
Well, it'd be nice, Tony, if you were here.
You know what we're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend the summer with me than anybody else.
Was I?
Well, if it's true about the summer, how would you feel about the winter?
Yes, I'd like that too.
Then there's spring and autumn. You could see your way clear about those, Miss Sycamore?
I might.
I guess that's the whole year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No.
Well then.
Alice, is that you? What time is it? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Kirby. I had no idea. That is I didn't mean to interrupt.
Not at all, Mrs. Sycamore.
No, Mother.
I just came down for a manuscript. Then you can go right ahead. Here it is. Sex takes a holiday. Well then, good night, Tony.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I think you can call me Penny. Don't you, Alice? At least I hope so.
Oh, what's that?
It's all right, Tony. That's Father.
Oh, this time of night?
Any time of night. Any time of day.
You know, you're more beautiful, more lovely, more adorable than anybody else in the whole world.
Don't, Tony.
What? My dear, just because you're mother, all mothers are like that, Alice, and Penny's a darling. You see, I'm even calling her Penny.
I don't mean that. Look, this is something I should have said a long time ago, but I didn't have the courage. I let myself be swept away because I loved you, sir.
Oh, darling.
No, wait, Tony. I want to make it clear to you. Listen, you're of a different world. A whole different kind of people. I don't mean money or socially. That's too silly. But your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony. It just wouldn't work.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. That's why they pay her all that money, because she can't dance.
Well, I don't call it dancing, what she does.
Essie,
Oh, hello. How is the ballet?
It was fine, Essie.
Wonderful.
hello there.
Hello.
Tell me what you people think. Ed and I just went and saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Why, yes, I always thought so.
What does she do, anyhow? Oh, now look, Mr. Kirby. You're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger Rogers. Essie, please. I'm only going to use it for a second. Now look, Mr.
You're
Kirby.
just as good as Ginger Rogers, we all agree.
You see, Ed?
Yeah. Come on, Essie, we're butting in here.
We've been together all evening. Good night, Mr. Kirby. Good night, Alice.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night. Oh, Essie, did you ask Grandpa about us having a baby?
Oh, yes. He said go right ahead.
That's what it would be like.
Oh, I didn't mind that. Anyhow, we wouldn't be living with your family. It would just be you and I.
No, it isn't, Tony. It's never quite that. I love them, Tony. I love them deeply. Some people could break away, but I couldn't. And I know they do rather strange things, but they're gay and they're fun, and I don't know. There's a kind of nobility about them.
Alice, you talk as though only you can understand them. Well, that's not true. Every family has their curious little traits. What of it? My father raises orchids at $10,000 a bowl. Is that sensible? My mother believes in spiritualism. It's just as bad as your mother writing plays, isn't it?
It goes deeper than that, Tony. Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable. And your father raises orchids because he can afford to. My mother writes plays because 8 years ago, a typewriter was delivered here by mistake. Yet look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just quit business one day. He started up to his office in the elevator, and he came right down again. He just stopped. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time. So for 35 years, he just collected snakes.
Hello there, children.
Good evening, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Hello, Grandpa.
How's the weather? Oh, looks like a nice summer evening.
Yes, it's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. Goodbye, Mr. Kirby. I've got a date with a policeman on the corner.
Policeman?
Oh, we've got a standing date. 12:30 every night. I've known him since he was a little boy. He's really a doctor, but after he graduated, he came to me and said he didn't want to be a doctor. He always wanted to be a policeman. So I said, you go ahead and be a policeman if that's what you want to be. And that's what he did. How do you like my new hat?
Oh, it's very nice, Mr. Vanderhoff.
I like it too. The government gave it to me.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know you folks was down here.
It's all right, Donald.
We even kind of fancy some candy, and here it is. You want some?
No, Donald.
You folks have a nice evening?
Yes, Donald.
Is valet nice?
Yes, Donald.
Nice dinner?
Yes, Donald. Now, do you see what I mean? Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony, you couldn't. I love you, Tony, but I love them too, and it's no use, Tony, it's no use.
There's only one thing you've said that matters. That makes any sense at all. You love me.
But Tony, I know so
But darling,
well.
don't you think other people have had the same kind of problems? Everybody's got a family.
But not like mine.
That doesn't stop people who love each other. Darling, won't you trust me and go on loving me and forget everything else?
How can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must know it. They want you to be happy, don't they? They must.
Of course they do, Tony. But they can't change. I wouldn't want them to change.
They won't have to change. They're charming, lovable people just as they are. Everything will work out. You're worrying about something that may never come up.
Tony, am I?
All that matters is that we love each other. That's so, isn't it?
Yes.
Well then.
Tony?
Now, I'd like to see a little gaiety around here. Young gentlemen calling and getting engaged and everything.
Well, what do I say?
Well, first you thank the gentleman for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was about him that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head.
Huh?
It wasn't your charm, and it wasn't your money. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
Well, what happened when I turned around?
Oh. Well, I got used to it after a while.
Well, think of it, Alice. We're pretty lucky, aren't we?
I know I am. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Not exactly unlucky myself. Oh dear. I guess I ought to go. Good night, darling. Until tomorrow.
Good night.
Isn't it wonderful we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be hanging around here all day.
Wouldn't it be funny in the office tomorrow, seeing each other and just going on as though nothing had happened?
Well, thank God I'm vice president. I can dictate to you all day. Dear Miss Sycamore, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Darling, you're such a fool.
Oh, why don't you meet me at the drugstore in the morning? Before you go up to the office, I'll have millions of things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch, and dinner tomorrow night.
Tony, what will people say?
Well, it's got to come out sometime. In fact, if you know a good house help, I'd like to do a little shouting.
Yes, sir, Mr. DePina. We sure did a good night's work.
That's what? 500 Black Panthers, 300 willow trees, and 8 dozen junior kitty bombers.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Ah, hi, Alice. You just get in?
No, I've been home quite a while.
Hey, have a nice evening?
Oh, I had a beautiful evening, Father.
Say, Alice, I want to show you this new red fire. Mr. DePina, would you turn on the lights, please? I want to give Alice the full effect.
What, Father?
Yeah. You see this new red fire? It's beautiful. What do you think of that? Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. Father, everything's beautiful. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.